Hello and welcome to MoneyCurve. In today's episode, we are going to talk about digital assets and blockchain. And for that purpose, we have a very special guest with us. Abdul Rafay is here with us. He's the co-founder of ZIGChain and a partner and head of investments at disrupt.com. Assalamu alaikum, Rafay, and thank you for coming to the show.
Walaikum salam. Thank you very much for inviting me, Bilal. Happy to be here.
Yeah. So, Rafay, before we talk about anything else or the regulation and the current landscape in Pakistan regarding digital assets, can you just explain to the viewers that what is blockchain or what is digital assets in general?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it is very important to understand that blockchain as a technology is just like a new layer. It's more like a fintech.
Okay.
It's a new layer of fintech which came almost 17 years ago. And now it's a reality that globally all the financial institutions, banks, everyone see it as a mechanism of bringing efficiency into the broader financial ecosystem. But let's think of it from a very basic perspective. Today what happens is in the normal traditional finance industry that every transaction that you do, every investment that you do, either you have a lot of third parties in between, or you are keeping those accounts and ledgers and everywhere in a non-transparent, in a centralized kind of an environment. What blockchain brings to the table is basically an untempered environment where every transaction and every investment that is done is basically maintained in a ledger, in a public ledger, in a way where the privacy is still maintained and the privacy of the data is still maintained, but the transactions are irreversible, they are transparent, and they are very public in nature in a way where you really know that what's happening where. The whole concept came after the financial crisis of 2007-2008 when the Bitcoin, the whole revolution started, when the largest banks in the world like Lehman Brothers and all those, and what came out was that the story that they were telling to the public markets and investors and their deposit and the people who are depositing money was very different than what was really behind it. And the concept of blockchain came in that you can really be the owner of your own assets. That is one perspective. The another perspective is the efficiency of how things work. There are two biggest use cases of money in the world. One is your payments and another is investments. 20 years ago or even 10 years ago, and in many countries in the world, even today, there is an issue that if you want to send money from one place to the other, you are looking at 4 different banks, you are looking at a lot of lag time, and you are looking at a lot of bells and whistles in places. People sending money from US to Nigeria or from Pakistan to some other country in the world. It is a challenge not because of the capital controls at all point in time, but also because of the inefficiency of the system. What blockchain enables is an instant settlement, and in terms of sending money, it has now become like a matter of not days or minutes but seconds. So, and from investment perspective as well, that it opens cross-border investment, it brings the equal investment opportunities to everyone in the world. So all in all, blockchain has become an efficiency mechanism more in a fintech layer, both for payments as well as the investment.
So, Rafi, where does Pakistan fit into all of this? Pakistan has one of the fastest growing digital populations in the world. And so from your perspective, where does blockchain realistically fit into this entire landscape and the economic reality of Pakistan currently?
So it's a very personal story. I'll tell you, 2007, 2008, I think when we were in university in IB at that time, when the financial crisis happened, my father was one of the top bankers in Habib Bank at that time. And I went online, I was I think 18, 19 years old, and I checked that what are the share prices of certain stocks like Google and Yahoo at that time. Everything was nosedive, like at the bottom of the mountain. Yeah, and I wanted to buy those shares. I had $5,000 at that point in time, and I wanted to do that, but it was not possible. I asked my father that how do we do that, and he was like, I've been trying for the last many years to do it, but best of luck. You are in Pakistan, and unfortunately, it is difficult. And that was the case. That story is still stuck in my mind, that the fact that I'm born in Pakistan or in some country, why is it my fault? It cannot be my fault. So investment opportunity, and it cannot be just because you were born at some place or you are associated with a certain geographical region, right? Blockchain solves for this. When you look at the Pakistan is a country, almost 300 million population, median age I think 26, 27.
All young people.
All young people, like your internet penetration is like in youngster is like 80%, fastest 5G, 3G growing market in the world. When you truly look into the Pakistani market and you try and see, okay, are we actually behind in terms of digital asset raise? I would say no, because Binance has recently released the data where they have confirmed that Pakistan has 20 million KYC'd accounts. 20 million KYC'd account. Imagine that PSX, Pakistan Stock Exchange, does not even have 500,000 accounts.
Yeah.
So crypto is already embedded into this country. Digital assets are already here. People are making payments. All regulator needs to do is to look at it from a business perspective, and they are doing it, by the way. They are doing a very good job, in my opinion. What they really need to see is that how can government bring efficiency in there? How can this enable bringing more people into a right tax bracket, ease out the investment opportunities as well as the money transfer opportunities. But beyond all of that, there is one very big area.
But here in Pakistan, blockchain or digital assets is usually associated, or people just talk about Bitcoin and its volatility and the price action which Bitcoin has every single day. So, how do you explain or advise people to move past speculation and look at the utility of all of this?
Yeah, so there are two parts to this which are very important to understand. One is the technology part and one is the asset part. Let's talk about the asset part first from a speculation perspective. Think of it from a stock exchange perspective. When stock exchange became regulated in the country, I don't 75 years ago, what happened over the time, you had brokers who came in the market, and wherever there is a commercial sense, education follows it. So for example, in the markets where exchanges like Binance and KuCoin and Bybit and all, they're regulated, they are doing education. For example, if you go to UAE, you will now see billboards on the main road. You will see the commercial ads, but as well as education awareness series. So whoever runs the business in a regulated environment does the education of the investors as well the investor protection. So in Pakistan, you have all the brokers telling consumers and investors that what to do, what not to do. Regulators also come in and tell, okay, if you're investing this way, this will happen. So all the AMCs, all the brokers, they're following. Same will happen with cryptos. Once you make it mainstream, the education follows. Obviously, the inherent volatility will not go away. So people need to understand how they're doing it.
So do you think regulation is going to be an enabler rather than a barrier with respect to crypto and digital assets?
Absolutely, yes. And I think we have a lot of countries to look at it from this perspective. You look at the US. The US market is booming for the last 1 year specifically because the regulatory clarity is there. The Clarity Act, the Genius Act, how the Trump administration is working, and obviously there are some rash decisions that are always taken, but that's fine because innovation comes from a lot of agility. But one more point which is very important to understand from a Pakistan standpoint is from a technological perspective. Pakistan has a lot to learn from India in that way. What India did with AI, what India did with the web 2.0 or internet, basically, they became the middle office for the whole world. Pakistan has this brilliant opportunity in terms of blockchain now, where for once in a technology space, I think we are leaps and bounds ahead of India, and we should capture that initiative. The young population should understand that the demand of blockchain based.
But do you think we have enough local talent or capacity here to?
So I think we do. The advantage here is that this is a very new industry. The blockchain technical language and everything is coming up pretty fast. And we already see, like in my line of business and in a lot of business that I see, there's a lot of local talent here. And again, I'm not talking about you make the full-fledged businesses out of here. You can do that. But as a stage one, you have a lot of software houses here. If you enable the right regulation and right environment, these blockchain innovations already happening here. A lot of big projects in the world, their back offices and middle offices are in Pakistan. They're already doing it. And I know for a fact that there are very big crypto foundations, layer 1 blockchains, who actually are running their complete technical shops out of Pakistan already. So there is a huge talent here. Problem happens when you don't give an opportunity here, when you don't make it clear, then you have brain drain. But this is a way to stop brain drain. If you can make the people sitting here make the same amount of money that they can make in some other country in the world, they can be in Lahore, in Karachi, and in Islamabad, running their shop here, be near to the family and make the same amount of money. Why not? Crypto itself is decentralized that way.
So basically, give clarity and give good internet, and the youth will take care of everything else, right?
You have a lot of examples. Like if you look at the freelancer market, Pakistan is the biggest freelancer market in the world, right? You look at all the companies like Payoneer and all who are helping bringing remittances in-house and on board and all. You look at their growth. It's crazy. I mean, it's humongous numbers that you're talking about. So the market is already there, the willingness is already there, young population, tech first population. All you need is a little bit of guidance, right regulation and right education, and you have a boom on your hand.
And there was a recent article which said it's over. They can convert this. It's just the beginning, right?
Absolutely, it's over. It's a new beginning.
So Rafe, recently, Pakistan established PVRA. If you can throw some light on this particular organization in terms of how it will enable crypto and digital assets in Pakistan, and what do you see its role going forward?
Yeah, as I was saying that I think for once Pakistan has done something where we have outpaced our neighbors.
And just for yours, it's Pakistan Virtual Assets Regulatory Authority, right?
So it started as PCC, Pakistan Crypto Council. I think they started in March 2025, and I think in June they became, through ordinance, they become PVRA, June or July.
Okay.
I think they have done a phenomenal job. To summarize it, why? Because Pakistan generally suffers from really bad PR. If you go, I mean, you are mashallah well traveled in the world, and you know the reality, right? People actually see Pakistan in a very bad way, because the PR is very bad. I think this is what PVRA has solved for. Pakistan is not seen the same way, and I can tell you with my
in crypto or digital asset space, you're talking.
Absolutely, I can tell you in my personal experience. 2 years ago, when I go somewhere and I tell that I'm a crypto founder from Pakistan, people would look at us in a very weird way.
Okay.
It's not the case anymore. We can proudly say we are from Pakistan, and people say, oh, you are the country where CZ went twice in a year. CZ is the founder of Binance, he is the richest person in crypto. He is like Elon Musk of cryptos. He came to Pakistan twice. He recently came again. They signed an agreement. It took Dubai, VARA in Dubai, 3 years of work to give the first NOC of a crypto exchange license. Pakistan did that in 5 months. I cannot believe it, the pace at that they have worked. I think they're doing a very good job. But what we need to see now is the implementation.
And the continuity. The biggest problem is Pakistan is that we do not have consistency and continuity with policies or with those who are put in to make the policies out there.
Absolutely. I mean, you are absolutely right. I think again this is an example of young people doing the right thing. So PVRA is working under a 34-year-old guy, Bilal, who is running it like a startup. Agile, crushing the bureaucracy, doing the right thing which are needed, bringing the right people, taking the right initiative. It's literally a 3-people ministry, I think. But they're running it like a startup. I have seen there some of their working from very closely, and I can tell you they're literally running it like a startup, which is what you need. And the leadership that has been shown from the very top to kind of patronize those efforts, that is incredible.
But what about bureaucracy? It's always been a bottleneck in various good projects that have been announced over the years. So how do you think that bureaucracy will be able to think of in terms that it's a new project, it's a new thing? Will they be able to support it, or do you think they're supporting it right now?
So I think right now support has somehow come in, which you can see, but
which is the first for Pakistan.
Which is first for Pakistan, and at such small notice. What I'm seeing a very good follow-up here is that it's not just that Pakistan is saying, okay, we will do this and that, blah, blah, blah. There are some practical steps being done. For example, I saw recently that there are few banks in Pakistan who have started doing their internal sandboxes on how they would do the custody of digital asset and tokenized assets. And when I started talking to those banks, I was surprised. I cannot take the name of those banks, but I can tell you, I was shocked the level of information that they already had. They are investing money, and they have been engaging the government, now PVRA, directly, and bringing experts on board. So there are some good follow-ons. And what happens is that from a bureaucracy standpoint, let's say when a larger banks come in and they start saying, for example, Habib Bank. If Habib Bank comes and says, I just tokenize a $10 million worth of my private credit book, and now I have investors from across the globe and I want to do it, then the bureaucracy will also fall in line. Because when there's a commercial case, the nuisance goes away. The moment you bring a commercial case in countries like Pakistan, when you start seeing the dollars, when you start seeing the tax money being saved, more money coming in, more economic activity starts happening, bureaucracy falls in line as well.
But in Pakistan, there's always a fear of money going outside though, right? And do you think that crypto enables flow of capital outside as well?
So it does. You cannot stop that, to be very honest. But it's still happening right now. Is it not happening? It's happening. Again, Binance.
So better to regulate it.
Exactly. There's a $5 billion of assets by Pakistanis on Binance alone. $5 billion. That's like 25% of. In fact, that's more than your reserves, by the way.
Yeah.
Because country
Liquid-
reserves.
liquid.
Exactly. More than the country's reserves are actually on Binance by Pakistanis that are technically, if they were in the dollar accounts, you would have counted them as reserves,
Yeah.
right? It's high time we start accepting digital currencies as legal tender and count them in as well. So you improve your global ratings. Point is very, very simple that the more we accept the reality, the better off we will be. You can, it's like an ostrich approach. You can put your head in the ground and think the storm
Yeah.
is not coming. Is anyways coming, you know.
But you talked about Vara from the UAE context and how Pakistan has learned from it. What about other countries and how these type of regulatory authorities have fared in other countries, and what can Pakistan specifically learn from it and avoid doing some of the initial mistakes that have been done previously?
Yeah, again, I'm not a regulatory expert to be honest, but I can tell you this thing that a lot of countries initially tried to create regulations which were anti-innovation. They tried to fit it in the same umbrella as different banks and financial institutions. So I think that's the mistake that we should not do, and I don't think we are doing that way. But one thing that I think we should learn, and I think we have a heads up on that, is specifically around tokenization. Tokenization is a very novel concept. It's not something new. It's a concept where you're putting securities on chain. A lot of countries are doing it, and not even countries, but if you look at the largest organizations in the world, for example, look at BlackRock. Larry Fink, the CEO of BlackRock, day in, day out, he's saying the same thing, the whole world will be tokenized. BlackRock is putting billions of dollars into that. Goldman Sachs, they just invested into a layer 1 blockchain called Canton because they want to get into it. Apex, which is the largest individual fund administrator, they manage $4.2 trillion. They have come up with Apex 3.0, which is a complete fund tokenization engine. Tokenization is a very key narrative that is coming in very fast.
Wall Street is now also trying to adapt to Ethereum.
Yeah,
With Tom Lee and all these treasury IPOs that are coming up.
Absolutely. So what Pakistan has done, I think a good job is that immediately as a first use case, again it's a public information, that Pakistan has given the MOU or the, I think, exploratory rights to Binance to underwrite $2 billion worth.
That's a lot of money.
Exactly. So imagine if Pakistan can float a tokenized sukuk,
Yeah.
Sharia compliant tokenized sukuk at 6 or 7%, $2 billion. Imagine the kind of limelight and kind of ease of money it will bring. We can truly come out of these World Bank and IMF shackles from here. We can have true decentralized money coming in, and it will be very compliant. You're not talking about when you look at regulation, and if Korea is a great example. Korea, Kazakhstan, Thailand, they're great examples. What they have done, they have put in travel rules.
Okay.
Right? When you put in travel rules, what happens is that your economy, your crypto economy becomes very fast within, but you cannot really put the money as a remittance.
Okay.
So you bring a stable coin against your local currency. Kazakhstan recently did that with the help of Binance, and I hope and I wish that we do the same thing with Binance here as well. So
Pakistan needs something like that because of the volatility in terms of devaluation over the years. Correct. And the current impact daily dollar has on all the imports and general trading in the company.
You cannot have a wild west here in a country like Pakistan. In the US and the UAE, it's okay when your currency is pegged or when your currency is free flowing, you can have that. But in an emerging market like Pakistan, you cannot have the check-free capital flow in and out. All capital will fly out. It's a reality. You cannot control that. But doing these innovations, I think we can do a very good job here.
But that's all high-level discussion, Rafay. But Pakistan's biggest problem has always been financial inclusion and how to get the lower stratas involved in banking. Yeah. How does blockchain or all these policies help those who are down there come up and get involved in the overall financial system?
Yeah. So I think the world is changing very fast, and the concept of banking has moved beyond just the banks. Digital wallets and mobile wallets are also considered as good as banking, where I think Pakistan has penetrated a lot. Things like Jazz and Easy Pesa and all those people, they have penetrated a lot. What blockchain does here is very simple. Imagine a world where these people in the remote areas of Pakistan who have their family members working abroad should be able to receive their dollar remittances directly into their mobile accounts. Yeah. and that is the possibility using blockchain. And this is already happening. So for example, Western Union is running a pilot right now with Solana to have an on-chain payments. And this is great because
a lot of people receive remittance through Western Union.
exactly. So if Western Union starts doing real-time settlement and starts sending money at the marginal cost of what it is right now, then the Pakistanis who are sending money from the outside, their family will receive here.
So, Rafi, you were talking about how financial inclusion is going to become much more easier with this, and you talked about Western Union as well. And you said that they are going to launch a pilot project in Pakistan. Is there any other projects which you think or are you aware of which are going to be launched?
Yeah, so I think what we need to look at it from a holistic perspective. This is not something that someone sitting outside can do internally, right? And I think we are still in a very early stage of regulation, and I think over the time, it's more of an adoption of a technology. The same companies here, like the companies like EasyPaisa and JazzCash and all of them, they will start integrating blockchains themselves. There are a lot of blockchains out there, who are willing to work in Pakistan, who wants to come and set up their infrastructure here, data centers here, and all that. I think what will truly happen that a single wallet, a mobile wallet, will convert into your payments and investment solution, and that can be enabled by blockchain. And this way, you can actually get exposure to global investment opportunities as well.
Do you think it can help with credit scoring and loans and all these sort of things as well, which traditionally fintechs have tried to do over the years, but have not been able to penetrate with that much force in Pakistan?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a data play in the end. And the more financial pointers you can tap into a single person's wallet, then the more scoring you can create. So essentially, if you can create a pattern, a transparent pattern, where you can see that how much money they've been getting, how much they've been spending, and everything through one single channel, then just like any other emerged market, any other developed market, you can have better credit scoring as well. So definitely there is a lot of scope here.
Sure.
These are like, think of it like this, that when internet came, the discovery, Google, commerce, Amazon, they were obvious use cases, and they happened very fast. Then you had second level use cases where you had Ubers of the world, and you had Food Pandas and Kareems of the world and Netflixes of the world who are coming in as secondary level use cases and third level use cases. Blockchain is exactly in the same way. The first use cases, simple payments, simple investments were there, but now these things like credit scoring, on-chain insurance, Sharia compliant finance, all these use cases will start building at second and third tier.
So it's just not payments, right? There are more use cases beyond payments as well, especially with financial inclusion, credit scoring, and
so if you see real wealth, you need to understand that no one becomes wealthy just by saving money. People become wealthy by making money, and one way of making money is by doing the right investments. The biggest curtailment for emerging market people right now is that they don't get to invest in the right things at the right time, even if they know. Blockchain takes that problem away. So you're actually opening the doors of wealth generation for the masses by enabling blockchain products.
Sure.
In a regulated way,
You talked about wealth generation and products out there. You're a co-founder of ZIGChain, and it's a purpose-driven public blockchain. So what kind of problem are you trying to solve with ZIGChain right now?
Yeah, so I told you my personal story about trying to buy something.
So that's your inspiration behind it.
That's the story that's stuck always in my mind, But after that, when I graduated from IB, I joined Standard Chartered Bank in Dubai. I worked there for a few years. But the day I stumbled upon Bitcoin, within 6 months of that, I left the bank in 2014, 2015. And it was a time when my Egyptian boss was like, "What are you going to do next?" I said, "I'll do something with Bitcoin."
Okay.
And he was like, "What the hell is Bitcoin?" Basically there was that kind of a mindset. No one knew.
Yeah.
For a couple of years, I kept investing into the market, and through my family office at Disrupt, I was leading investments there, and I was just figuring out my way. We did some good investments as well. 2017, 2018, then I started a product called Zignally. Zignally was supposed to become an eToro of cryptos, and we successfully did it. Within 4 or 5 years, we were able to, create a very nice platform. We were managing more than $300 million, more than 1 million customers. We launched,
which is amazing for something we just started with.
Yeah, absolutely. Within crypto, and it was a wild west back then. We became largest Binance brokers. We launched our own token, blah blah, and all that. But in 2022, 2023, we started thinking, okay, What's beyond that? On the disrupt level, I did one of the exits of one of my companies, so it started giving me a bigger vision.
Yeah.
That what do we do? So we came up with this.
Which is also one of the biggest success stories from Pakistan
Yeah,
tech space
alhamdulillah, that's
last
been
few
the
years.
largest ever exit out of Pakistan. We sold Cloudways for $350 million to DigitalOcean, and alhamdulillah, that's been the largest exit. So that also gives perspective, right? That okay, you solve for the
Yeah.
money. Now what about the legacy and the vision? And this is where the thought process started coming in. That okay, beyond trading, what can you do? Trading is limited to certain things, and we started thinking of this purpose that okay, that has always been stuck in our mind, that how can we bring every single investment opportunity available to everyone else in the world, and also in a managed way, and how can we enable the good fund managers of the world equipped with all the investment opportunities and give them the user base that then they can manage. So you're facilitating 3 areas, and we started brainstorming on that, and the idea of ZIGChain came. So ZIGChain is an extension of Zignally. We launched it 18 months ago, and basically the idea is that every blockchain goes behind the technology.
But why do you think layer 1 was necessary for this?
Yeah, I'll tell you, because the reason was that there is when you want to curate an environment where you actually want to have all the pieces fit in the right way, then you have to create your own kind of a platform that way. It was an option to go to some other layer 1 blockchain like Polygon or Ethereum at that time and start working on it, but we did not really find a defensible mode or as well as a business alignment. We were like, if you're going to process billions of dollars and trillions of dollars in transaction, why not create a value for our own, like become masters of our own selves?
And just for our audiences, what's a layer 1 blockchain? And you mentioned why it was necessary, but what really is layer 1, and and what are the other examples of layer 1 blockchain?
So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Polygon, Arbitrum, they're all not Arbitrum, but all other are layer 1 blockchains. So what layer 1 blockchains means is that they are the base technology where the on-chain transactions happen. So initially when I was mentioning that every transaction and every investment in the world, when it starts happening on-chain, there's a transparency.
Yeah.
So this is the chain layer. And what blockchain does is that right now, for example, if you're working with Swift is a central mechanism where when you do a transaction from point A to point B, there's the software. But in blockchain, there's also software, but there is thousands of public validators spread across thousands of computers in the world who validate the transaction. So basically, it's publicly verified transaction going on chain. This is why layer 1 is important, because if you, from our perspective, that if you are creating an environment where you want to bring all the investment opportunities, then you want to make sure that all the transactions, everything is secured, is validated in.
So you wanted your own ledger, basically.
Yeah, we basically own our own ledger. We created our own layer 1 blockchain, but there is something interesting that we did. Every blockchain out there, they promise to be something, and they basically throw in a lot of money, and they talk about a lot about technology.
Yeah.
We did something different. We said, okay, we have technology, we will throw in money, but what we will really do is that we will enable an environment where we became compliant in many jurisdictions, like in DIFC in Dubai, in South Africa, Luxembourg, Leicestershire, many other jurisdictions. And we said that if you want to bring a financial product, you come work with us.
Okay.
And one of the largest microfinance bank of this region, for example, Abhi Finance, they recently did $1 million pilot with us where they tokenized their private credit.
Okay.
There's another very big company.
And they're going to use it for Pakistan or for the region?
Yeah, they're using it for the region, but also for Pakistan. So now we're working with them on a longer project. And this is happening, like we just partnered with Apex to launch first ever Sharia compliant $100 million tokenized fund out of DIFC. We partnered with Ellington Properties out of UAE, which is one of the prestigious developers. We are tokenizing their $3 billion worth of properties. Stuff like that is happening, and this is where we specialize, that we are business first. Technology is a commodity eventually, and we want to drive a lot of business there.
And so that's very interesting and really heartening to hear that something is coming out of Pakistan. And so do you think that Pakistan has a role? You mentioned briefly before as well, but do you think Pakistan has a role in global blockchain infrastructure going forward, and what needs to be done for that to happen?
It's a very interesting question, and you need to think from this perspective that would trillions and billions of dollars would pick up velocity in Pakistan in the next 5 years? Answer is absolutely not.
Yeah.
Right? But would you be able to have the right talent here that can either initiate good projects or they can enable good projects? Answer is hell yes. And it's already happening. So for example, I'm very proud to say that at ZIGChain, 70 to 80% of our team is European or in American. They are outside. But 20% team is Pakistani. And Pakistanis based in Pakistan. The ones who are driving the whole commercial engine are actually from Pakistan. They are ex-bankers, ex-brokers. They are in Pakistan. So I'm very proud when I go globally and we travel across the world and we.
But what about the tech part?
So tech part is actually not a big problem in blockchain. Deep tech is a problem. When you talk about deep tech, you talk about some AI, this blah blah blah. Then it becomes a bit problematic. But I think 80% of the things can be done in Pakistan, and you will be surprised when you go dig deeper. There are like small software houses in Pakistan who are doing $1 million a month blockchain business. So much work is happening. You go to Shara Faisal and you go to software houses. Every 1 out of 4 software house is now specialized in blockchain, basically.
Wow.
It's a shock for everyone, but it's happening. The whole world. And this is what I'm saying. This is what has happened in last 1 year, that no one is now seeing Pakistan the same way they were seeing 2 years ago. Because now they are like this, okay, if Binance is coming to Pakistan and if they are seeing the talent here, why not we do it? And before Binance comes in and occupies the whole market, let's get some talent.
Sure.
So I think talent is a function of how much focus you put in and how much capital comes in. But I think there's a lot of potential. I'll be very transparent. I'm not going to say that people sitting in Pakistan can churn out unicorns left, right, center. It's very difficult to do so. But can people sit here and make international investment products? Yes, we have done it. Everyone can do it.
Yeah, but again, then that comes in, right, where Pakistan just becomes the support act here. It's an old age problem that, Pakistan always, it's been mentioned that we have the talent here, but we do not have the rails, right?
Yeah.
So what would you advise the policymakers out there to, invest in terms of building out the rails and making sure that the youth has that platform going forward? Because for all the tech, the rails need, and you need an entire stack from a policy making, from an economic perspective, the government, the bureaucracy, everything has to be focused on building that stack and the rails on the ground.
So you need to really solve for the problem at hand, and you have to be realistic about the size of the country. So if you look at India started as a back office for a lot of tech companies, but eventually what happened, that they absorbed a lot of technology and they became the owners of a lot of technology that happened within the country when the economy was growing. Our GDP is still in a $300 billion bracket. So creating unicorns here are not easy. What is our biggest problem? Our biggest problem right now is your foreign reserves. Your balance of payment is always out, right? Can we enable people sitting here making sure that we can create world-class products that can sell globally? That should be the goal. And blockchain enables that because products are generally global. You are not like, it's not like a fintech player who is creating a payment merchant solution for our local consumption. No, you actually can sit here and create a first-class, world-class tokenization platform that can be used anywhere in the world, and it's happening. I can tell you there is a startup coming out of Pakistan. They have actually created a very nice standard of tokenizing regulated assets out of anywhere in the world. That is it's actually Karachi-based startup.
Oh.
So these things are happening. So what government needs to do is to basically make the money flow easier, and the more sandboxes we can do. So you don't need sandbox. You need sandbox basically for people to test out product here, but you don't want them to scale here only. You try and create a product where you say, I want to sell it in Pakistan. This is where the problem starts, because then you start creating a market. You don't have to do that. You test it out, you test the regulatory ambit, but then you go global. You bring the dollars back in. So you stop the brain drain, you bring in the dollars, and you become a very good market for the whole world.
Yeah, but generally there's a lot of misconceptions and misinformation regarding blockchain in Pakistan. But in your view, what would you advise for any rising entrepreneur to focus on when it comes to blockchain and digital assets? Like one advice that you should focus on this.
Read as much as you can, and read good stuff. So I tell people that Twitter, or X as we call it now, has become the single biggest source of almost all the information in the world. And I'm almost a firm believer that if you can curate your X feed in a right way by following the right people and liking the right stuff, you will be 10x more informed in just 6 months. So misconceptions, where do they come from? Misconceptions comes from misinformation. But if you read the right thing, and we are not living in a time where you have to go to a library to read something, or you have to wait for tomorrow's newspaper to find out what's happening. Finding the truth today is much more simpler. Finding the right information today is much more simpler than any other time in the history of humanity. AI has made that change for us. Use that. Don't use AI for just creating funny memes and images. Please use AI to read up.
Yeah. Okay.
The more you read, more you are informed. Not everyone can become a technologist. Not everyone can just become a fund manager or something like that. But find your niche and see that you need to be informed and involved, either as a developer or as an investor. Otherwise, what will happen that the world is changing, the blockchain is coming, and it's not us saying, it's BlackRock and everyone saying it's happening. It will happen. If you want to become
the change
part
is coming,
of it,
we just need to keep up.
Exactly. You need to be, if you want to be part of it, time is now. 3 years down the line, we can cry the same thing that, oh shit, no one told us. Just like AI, no one told us. No one will come and tell you. You have to take an initiative. Now is the time.
Thank you, Rafay. Thank you for coming. It was wonderful talking to you, and hopefully we'll be speaking soon.
Thank you very much for inviting.
All right. Okay.